Yo, how's it going, Bears fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Down Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jaylen, who's currently muted, I can tell, and Parth. Parth, buddy, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. Yeah.
So, we've had some new interventions the last couple days on the defensive side of the ball. Haven't really gotten to it just because we've had a ton of other stuff going on with the end of the year presser that kind of spurred a lot of drama. So we talked about that the last couple days. But as you can see right now, who just popped up on your screen, that's Jaylen. How's it going, man?
What's up, bro?
So, basically, we had a video a couple days ago, probably like a week ago, talking about replacements for Vic Fangio. That video did very well, and if you want to check it out, I'll post a link to it in the description. Obviously, we already know who his replacement is in Chuck Pagano, but I'm pretty sure when that video was posted, Chuck Pagano maybe was talked about for maybe like 15 seconds, if none at all. Parth talked a lot about Lovie Smith. Jaylen talked a lot about... I don't even know who Jaylen talked about, honestly. Ed Donatel replacing, and I liked Rex Ryan at the time. But Chuck Pagano coming in, I'm going to pull up a little bit about him. I know he was the Ravens defensive coordinator from 1996 to 2001, if I am correct, I believe. He ran a 3-4 defense, which Fangio ran in Chicago. He also runs a lot of nickel and zone, so you'll see a little bit of mixture from him. He's coached ever since. Looks like he's coached ever since 1987. He's been in the league for a while. Obviously, he was an inspirational story a couple years back from his battle with leukemia. He fought through that. He was the Oakland Raiders defensive back coach, 2005. Cleveland Browns secondary coach, North Carolina defensive coordinator, Baltimore Ravens secondary coach, and then the Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator before going to the Colts and being their head coach. So he's had a really, really efficient history in the league. He's been all over the place, whether it be college or pro ball. I just want to ask you guys first. What do you guys think of this hiring overall?
I don't mind it. I mean, he keeps the same scheme. You know, we still run that nickel 3-4. He's a little bit different in his blitz packages. Like, I've seen Chuck Pagano blitz the quarterback a lot more. He relies on the secondary to press the wide receivers too. A lot more man to man with Khalil Mack and maybe I think I've heard he likes to go 7-man blitz sometimes, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah, totally. Jaylen, what did you think of this hire overall?
I think he's way more aggressive than
Fangio.
Yeah, the Fangio was. He like Parth said, he does blitz a lot, which could be they kind of bad for our secondary, but more importantly, great for our passers because our passers is good when we were only rushing 4. Excuse me. And so imagine when we rushed the whole front 7. So
yeah,
I just can't wait to see how it plays out. But speaking of his job as a defensive coordinator, back in his first couple years with Indianapolis, he had a 32-year-old Robert Mathis, and he had 14 and a half sacks that year,
okay.
6'4" something. So he can make anybody a great pass.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I don't think he'll have to help the pass rushers as much in Chicago. You look at his history; he's been a secondary guy throughout his history of coaching in Baltimore, at University of North Carolina, in Oakland, in Cleveland. Everywhere he's been, he has been a defensive back specialist, and he was a little bit of a linebackers coach and a little bit of a special teams coach when he was in college, but mostly he's been with the secondary. Obviously, we learned a couple days ago, Ed Donatel is headed to Denver. He completely deserves his defensive coordinator job, too, as well. He's done great with guys like Kyle Fuller, Eddie Jackson, Adrian Amos, and Bryce Callahan in Chicago. He's going to go be Vic Fangio's defensive coordinator in Denver. So, obviously, that comes with a little bit of a void to fill. A favorite not to be essentially, I don't think the defensive backs coach, but more so a secondary assistant is Ed Reed. He's been brought up the last couple days, and Bears fans really, really like the idea of Ed Reed coming in. I think he was the Buffalo secondary assistant a couple of years back. Obviously, a Hall of Famer, could bring some incredible knowledge to guys like Eddie Jackson, guys like Adrian Amos. What would you guys think it would be like if we signed Ed Reed to help out Pagano?
I mean, there's nothing better than having a player like Ed Reed help out Kyle Fuller and Eddie Jackson and Prince Mukamara and Kevin Tolliver, like you'd say.
Kevin Tolliver, shout out Jaylen.
I mean, he's he's just such an amazing, accomplished player, and to have that on our team and to help out a player like Kyle Fuller, who has the potential to like be a really good corner in this NFL for a really long time. I mean, it's going to be beneficial, and he's only 40, so like he can help him on the field and go out there and run some routes against Allen Robinson, you could say.
Well, I don't know if that'll happen, but if we can talk about Ed Reed for a bit before I get to Jaylen, a Super Bowl champion, 9-time Pro Bowler, 5-time first all-team, 3-time second team, NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He's been the interception leader 3 years. A lot of people, I posted about this on my Instagram a couple days ago, and a lot of people were saying, hey, the coaching might not be the same as Ed Reed playing. Basically, they were arguing to me that Ed Reed wasn't going to be the same coach as he was a player. He wouldn't be as good of a coach as he was a player. But obviously, you would think he would still have some type of valuable analysis to bring to this young secondary. Jaylen, what do you think of this hire when it transpired?
Talk about Ed Reed.
Yeah. Geez. What would you think about this hire if it transpired?
I think it would be great. A lot of people compare Eddie Jackson to a type of player who's a ball hawk and can take it to the house any time of the game, especially when it's needed. So if he can come in and develop Eddie Jackson games more because they're so much alike, then we're looking at another future Hall of Famer if Eddie can develop Eddie Jackson like I think he can.
Yeah, totally. So I just looked it up now. He was the assistant defensive backs coach for the Buffalo Bills for a year when Rex Ryan was in Rex Ryan's last year of his tenure in 2016, and then Sean McDermott came in and he was not retained by McDermott. Another hire I want to talk about that might possibly happen. First off, I would like to say, before the Bears announce all these hires, I think they're waiting until the new year to announce these hires, the new year in the NFL, which will be the day after the Super Bowl. That's just something I read online. I'm not sure why I read that, but another one I read about that could come in to be the linebackers coach. I know our linebackers coach left. I'm not sure if he went to Denver, but I know he wasn't retained by Pagano, is Rob Ryan. Obviously, we know Buddy Ryan coached the best Bears defense of all time, and I am saying that defense is better than this defense. 1985 Bears defense was incredible, and Buddy Ryan, who is Rex Ryan and Rob Ryan's father, coached this one. Obviously, last week when I talked about replacements for the defensive coordinator position, I talked about Rex Ryan. This is Rob Ryan. I'm going to talk a little bit about his history. 2000 to 2003, the New England Patriots linebackers coach. Worked with guys like Teddy Bruschi and guys like that back then. He was the defensive coordinator for 4 years for the Oakland Raiders, 2 years for the Cleveland Browns, 2 years for the Cowboys, and 2 years for the Saints. And then last year, or 2016, he was an assistant head coach on the defensive side of the ball to the Buffalo Bills. And he's also a Super Bowl champion himself as a player. So he seems like he brings years and years of experience with him if we are, in fact, hiring him. He's been in the NFL for what would be, I think, 16 years now. What do you guys think about Rob Ryan?
He's a crazy man. I mean, so is his brother. They've both been known to be crazy with the media, but this guy's a little bit less crazier. But I don't know much about Rob Ryan except that he's Rex's brother.
And Buddy's son.
and Buddy's son. But I know that Rob was a pretty good coordinator for all those teams that you just listed and how their defense has always been mediocre. But, like, he's not going to be a coordinator this time. It's just focusing on one side of one position. Crazy?
I'm going to show you guys this. Can you guys see my camera right now?
Maybe.
It says, if I show you on Wikipedia, it says Chicago Bears. So I guess Wikipedia already thinks he's being hired to the Bears staff. That's actually pretty funny. I was like, why does it say Chicago Bears? He hasn't officially been hired, but he's someone who is said to be the leading candidate for sure for Pagano's linebacking coach spot. Jaylen, what do you think about Rob Ryan?
Like Parth said, I don't know much about him other than his family, but I know he was a good defensive coordinator with the Saints. It was a lot of pictures of him and Sean Payton, like very very hype, especially during that Super Bowl run. So if he can develop our linebackers like he did Teddy Bruschi and all them great linebackers with the Patriots, then I think this would be a great hire.
Yeah, totally. Well, that'll pretty much do it for this one. This will be seen on, what is today even? I don't even know. Today's Wednesday. On Thursday, you guys will see an episode talking about who we would rather re-sign whether it be Bryce Callahan or Adrian Amos if we had to make the choice. That'll be up tomorrow. But that'll pretty much do it for this one. We will keep you guys updated on everything as far as this defensive staff goes because there's going to be some spots to fill for sure. That'll pretty much do it for this one, though. I would like to say, though, before I end this, everyone I talked about last week, as far as defensive coordinators that I wanted to go to the Bears, they have all been hired. So Chuck Pagano obviously is on the Bears. Greg Williams got hired by the Jets. Steve Wilkes got hired by the Cleveland Browns, I believe. Vance Joseph didn't get the Bengals head coaching job. That's going to go to Zach Taylor, the Rams quarterback coach, I believe, after the Rams are done or eliminated or win the Super Bowl or whatever. Vance Joseph went to the Arizona Cardinals. And, yeah, I think that's it as far as everyone I mentioned. No job for Marvin Lewis or Rex Ryan yet, so we'll see how that goes. But that'll pretty much do it for this one. You guys have anything else to say?
Bear down.
Bear down. Totally. It's the off-season. We're hoping it's going to start speeding up. But it's been a pretty eventful one so far for the Bears, so we're going to keep the content up for you guys. You can find all of our Bears fan pages down in the description. We post a ton of stuff on our own, and you can also follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Bear Down. We do tons of giveaways and stuff, so check those out if you want to enter some free giveaways. Like the video if you did enjoy. Please subscribe. We're trying to hit 200 soon on our route to 1,000 eventually. That's the goal. And that'll pretty much do it for this one, guys. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bear Down Chicago. Peace.
Peace.